All right. Good day, everyone. Good day. I'm going to be done saying good morning. I was having this conversation with my friend this morning, and my mom will say good morning. My friend will say good morning. And I'm like, I don't like that term, and I don't understand where it came from. So if anybody knows why we're saying good morning, let me know, because I'm going to start using good day in other ways, and, just something small to something to think about right off the bat in the video here. One other thing I guess I'll share before I jump into today's lesson is how much it's been coming through for me today that we have this one choice. Now, there's a bunch of stuff layered underneath this that needs to be processed, needs to be gone into, needs to be investigated, or there needs to be some self-introspection. But we have one choice. And that's either we're playing out from or making choices from our egoic deficiencies, or we're playing out from the way God created us. God, we're in God mode, or we're playing from our higher selves. Those are the two choices. That's the choice we have. Once you know that, then you start to say, why? Why do I choose ego? Why do I choose that lower kind of version? Or, maybe it's anger. Maybe it's fear. Fear is a massive one, right? Anger is one that people deal with. But fear is usually the biggest thing that we're dealing with, at least in my experience. So why? Why am I coming from there, right? And then that's the digging. That's the digging this course will help you with. And then there's all kinds of tools and all kinds of things that you can do to do the digging, if you are up to it, if you are the courageous warriors out there that want to go down that path, because there's a lot of people that are okay with just playing it safe and being in the herd and being average, and hey, that's their choice. I mean, I wish better for them, but it's not my choice. I think everybody has all kinds of potential, and the possibilities are endless of what we can do with our lives. So today's lesson is lesson 128. And yeah, I don't know if this was my favorite lesson, but it still holds a lot of power. There's still every lesson has little nuggets and tidbits that we can take a ton out of. So lesson 128. I think what it is this lesson reminded me of the very beginning lessons of this were tough for me. They were, the beginning lessons, the lessons 1 through, I forget, they were tougher for me to take in. I didn't think they were as powerful as the ones where I got in the meat and potatoes of the course in the middle. Now I haven't gotten to I don't know what the end, I don't know what the course holds from here. But, this has been, so I think that's an indication of where somebody's at. Now, somebody that's just coming into maybe self-help, maybe somebody's just coming into the idea of being this spiritual being and all of that. They might need that beginning of the course more than I thought that I did, at that time, because everybody's where they are. There's no right or wrong here. So lesson 128, the world I see holds nothing that I want. And then I think it's I have a tendency to take things literally sometimes, or look too deep into them. So I need help. And as I do this course and I do these videos, I'll get help. I'll get, through being of service and through doing this and through me sharing on here and doing this, I'll receive more. I'm spending time with Creator. I'm spending time on this course, doing these videos and outside of these videos. So, I think it was yesterday's lesson that talked about, as you spend time, this is the most powerful time you can spend. This is, I forget how it worded it. I don't know exactly where it's at. It just, no better use for your time than this, and then because you're clearing away the stuff that doesn't serve you, the egoic stuff that doesn't serve you, and you're making room for God. You're making room for the Creator. You're making room for that light, universal, whatever you want to call it, higher self, higher power, nature, universal field, universal consciousness, unified field. I mean, I've just heard so many different names and so many different people have their perspective on it. It's love. It's unconditional love. So the world you see holds nothing that you need. The world you see holds nothing that you need to offer you. Nothing that you can use in any way, nor anything at all that serves to give you joy. So this is where I start to be like, wait a second, what are they talking about here? I have stuff that brings me joy here. I have kids. I have moments and things in this world that are of joy to me, right? So this is where I start to get a little confused, and I need a little bit of help. I need somebody that's more advanced in the course or understands this better than I do, right? But as we go on, I think already what I would tell you in my own thinking, saying, well, I don't know if I quite understand this, and then I'll come back and say what it's saying, I think, is the meager gifts here, the meager things, the material things, right? Not that God, not that higher self in you, not that God, not the God that's in you and you that's in God, not that stuff, not that unconditional love. The only thing that really exists is that stuff. It's the otherworldly things, the other distractions, right? The stuff that just it doesn't matter, right? That's what this lesson is saying, I believe. So it says, believe this thought, and you are saved from years of misery, from countless disappointments, and from hopes that turn to bitter ashes of despair. So it's like when you chase these things that don't really, I think we've all done this as younger people in our lives, or we still do it. I shouldn't even go there. We still do it, right? Chasing things for the wrong reasons. Like men, one thing that pops out for me as a man is chasing sex or chasing women for the wrong reasons. And really that's a whole other topic. It's I saw something on this and I thought that's a really good point the guy was making. He's like, if we attract what we are. So if you're a woman watching this and you're attracting those men, then maybe there's some things to look into in the mirror that will help you so that you don't attract those men. So, or if you do attract those men, you're able to set up very firm boundaries. You're very confident. You're very confident and secure. And most men that aren't won't even approach you. They'll know it. They'll sense it. Because there's a field of consciousness that's connecting us all. So that was huge. That countless disappointments and the misery of chasing these things, right? And that was just my example. There's many examples of this. No one but must accept this thought as true, if he would leave the world behind and soar beyond its petty scope and little ways. Each thing you value here is but a chain that binds you to the world. I mean, now more is coming in for me as I do this. See how powerful this is? So the more I get connected to material things in this world, the more emotionally I'm connected to those things, the less I am of what is. Because those things aren't God's creation. They're not necessary. So I felt like I had a little bit more to share there on that. Each thing you value here is but a chain that binds you to the world. Right? Because this body vessel that we're in right now is very temporary, right? It seems like it's a long life to us, but where we're going after this, it's timelessness. Like there is no time. So that was the point I wanted to get across there. And it will serve no other end but this. For everything must serve the purpose you have given it until you see a different purpose there. The only purpose worthy of your mind this world contains is that you pass it by without delaying to perceive some hope where there is none. Be you deceived no more. The world you see holds nothing that you want. Kind of going back to when I was talking in the one video about how good I felt in meditations when I closed my eyes and, when my eyes are actually open and I'm seeing and I'm in this world and if I'm not present, if I do the opposite and I close my eyes and I go into meditation, I can get into this very peaceful state. And I think that's really two things that I think that we're after here. And it may be the same thing in one is unconditional love and peace of mind, right? You have those things, and I don't know if you're here anymore. You might be transcending out of this place. Be you deceived no more. The world you see holds nothing you want. Escape today the change you place upon your mind when you perceive salvation here. So salvation isn't here in this world. It's not of worldly things. It's of an essence that we can't see. It's invisible to us while we're in the body. For what you value, you make part of you as you perceive yourself. All things you seek to make your value greater in your sight limit you further. Hide your worth from you and add another bar across the door that leads to true awareness of yourself, capital S. So it's cool how this lesson words this stuff, you know. Hide your worth from you and add another bar across the door that leads to the true awareness of yourself. Let nothing that relates to body thoughts delay your progress to salvation, nor permit temptation to believe the world holds anything you want to hold you back. Nothing is here to cherish. Nothing here is worth one instant of delay and pain, one moment of uncertainty and doubt. Ooh, that's a big statement, right? How often have I been in a place of uncertainty and doubt in my life? Oh my gosh, I couldn't even count them up. So unnecessary is what this lesson is teaching us. The worthless offer nothing. Certainty of worth can not be found in worthlessness. Today we practice letting go all thought of values we have given to the world. So I got to practice this. This is a big one for me because I said there's still things that I'm holding on to, you know, that and I've been getting this like inner knowing of like even the closest people you can pick in your life, even your spouse, your children, we really don't have control over them. We really don't have control over whether we're together, whether something happens to one of us or not. We have no control over this. We may think we do, but we really don't. Today we practice letting go of all thoughts of values we have given to the world. We leave it free of purposes we gave its aspects and its phases and its dreams. We hold it purposeless within our minds and loosen it from all we wish it were. Thus do we lift the chains that bar the door to freedom from the world and go beyond all little values and diminished goals. Pause and be still a little while and see how far you rise above the world. There's that pause and be still, right? That be now, in the now. And see how you rise above. And it talks later in the lesson about, you know, when you do these things, you'll come out a little different each time. Valuing things here a little less. A little bit more along your ascension path, I guess you would say. When you release your mind from chains and let it seek the level where it finds itself at home. So your mind's at home with God, with Creator, not when it's connected to worldly things. It will be grateful to be free a while. It knows where it belongs. But free its wings and it will fly in sureness and in joy to join its holy purpose. Let it rest in its Creator, there to be restored to sanity, to freedom, and to love. Give it 10 minutes rest 3 times today. And when your eyes are opened afterwards, you will not value anything you see as much as when you looked at it before. That's what I was saying right there is that sentence. Each time you practice this and repeat this kind of meditation or these lessons or what it's asking you in these courses, you're subtly moving into this higher version of being this higher version of yourself more and more and more. Your whole perspective on the world will shift by just a little every time you let your mind escape its chains. The world is not where it belongs, and you belong where it would be and where it goes to rest when you release it from the world. Your guide is sure. Open your mind to him. Be still and rest. Protect your mind throughout the day as well. And when you think you see some value in an aspect or an image of the world, refuse to lay this chain upon your mind. But tell yourself with quiet certainty, this will not tempt me to delay myself. This will not tempt me to delay myself. Right? This worldly thing's not going to delay me from God or being God, playing the role that I am here for. The world I see holds nothing that I want. This is a massive shift from thinking, our traditional way of thinking. And, the ego will buck up at this if you're not quite ready for it, or even if it does, like, it's a gift. So that's the end of the lesson. I don't think there's anything else I want to share today. I think that was good, a really powerful video. Just working on unconditional love, working on just being God, being that, what that is. What does that symbolize to you, right? Working towards that. Showing up as love, unconditional love. Showing up as that as much as we can, because the more you do it, the more you'll be it. And that's another, I guess that's a point I can make here at the ending. I've been realizing that, and the Course talks about this in the text. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I think it talks about having and being, and I'm going to say knowing and being. Like knowing, I have a lot of knowing. Like this is an inner sense that you'll develop and such, but it's like having knowledge and knowing something, right, is completely different than being it, right? We can know of it. The ego will be like, oh yeah, I know that. I know all that. But for some reason, it'll separate us from actually taking action on it and living it. I've lived that way for years up to this point. Now I'm actually putting the rubber, doing what's the saying, the rubber meets the road, or the real work comes, the action, living it, right? So heaven on earth, it's here. It's waiting for you to just uncover, peel back the layers, uncover everything that's been piled on top of it, because you were created this way. It never left. And we are the miracle. A Course in Miracles is what I'm covering right now. I'm going to continue to cover, and we'll see where all this takes us. I'm excited. I'm excited about where humanity is going. I think there's going to be some turbulence, some definite chaos and turbulence here in the near future, next couple of years, But after that, man, we're going to have a beautiful world to live in. So I'm out of here. Till next time. Okay, so let's jump right into lesson 129, which goes right with 128. So, like I said, I'm going to join these together. These lessons should be together, in my opinion. And that's why it was a little confusing for me yesterday, because I had forgot what lesson follows. So let's just jump right in, because I made a separate video explaining some things, explaining that, and explaining some other things that I might, just talking about some other things. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to put all of this together. So try to put it together in a way that it makes sense, but I might be repeating myself. So let's just jump right into the lesson. Lesson 129. Beyond this world, there's a world that I want. So yesterday's lessons talking about the world I see holds nothing that I want. That could be a little confusing to a newcomer, right? Like, wait, what? What do you mean? And then it says, beyond this world, there's a world I want. So, and it'll explain it in here and we'll hit on it. There's a reason why this is so important. This is a thought that follows from the one we practiced yesterday. We cannot stop with the idea the world is worthless. For unless you see that there is something else to hope for, you'll only be depressed. So that's bam. Right there it is. You can't just go on lesson 128, which would be a bit confusing maybe to someone, and then not have lesson 129. Or like I said, I think they should be combined. We don't want to be depressed. We don't want to think that, oh my gosh, this world offers me nothing I want. Well, then what am I doing here? Because there is a reason why you're here. Our emphasis is not on giving up the world, but on exchanging it for what is far more satisfying, filled with joy, and capable of offering you peace. Think this world can offer that to you. That's kind of a confusing sentence. Think you, this world can offer that to you. It might be worth a little time to think once more about the value of this world. Perhaps you will concede there is no loss in letting go all that of value here. The world you see is merciless indeed, unstable, cruel, unconcerned with you, quick to avenge and pitiless with hate. There's a lot of this. You see a lot of this stuff out in the world. It's confusing. Why is all this stuff going on? Well, people are focused on the world and focused on things and distracted away from what really is and what they really are. That's what causes that. It gives but to rescind. It gives but to rescind. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that word. I'm not sure. The rescind. I'm not sure exactly what that means. It gives but to rescind. Maybe take back or something with maybe. Let's see. It gives but to rescind and takes away all things that you have cherished, but for a while. And takes away all things that you cherished for a while. No lasting love is found, for none is here. This is the world of time, where all things end. So that was like a key little sentence at the end of that paragraph for me. This is the world of time, and all things here will end, right? This body will end. Any relationship you have here will end. Any life here is going to end. So I've been really wanting to do a video on death, and I just haven't gotten around to it. Maybe it'll happen divinely, I'm sure. But I want to get that on the channel as well, because these are things that we may not want to focus on. It seems like, oh, that's kind of dark, and why would I want to focus on that? But I tell you what, when you do, it sure as heck makes you want to live your life a little fuller when you focus on these things, when you get right with these things, when you get your beliefs, your limited beliefs out and believe, just dissect what is there. What is this? Okay, this is reality. So, you know what? I better live my life to the fullest, because in this body, in this lifetime, I have my ideas about what happens when we transition out of the body. But right now, in this body, in this lifetime, we best go live it. Other than that, you're dying, right? You're dying every day anyway, right? You're getting closer to that day regardless. Is it a loss to find a world instead where losing is impossible, where love endures forever, hate cannot exist, and vengeance has no meaning? Would imagine they're talking of the kind of like that, talk heaven on earth, or the kingdom of heaven, kingdom of God, that is, losing is impossible, love endures forever, hate can't exist, and vengeance has no meaning. Is it lost to find all things you really want and know they have no ending and they will remain exactly as you want them throughout time? You're not losing anything by letting go of this world. You're gaining something. You're gaining a view. You're gaining an existence that is everything that you really truly want. And that's why this world feels so confusing, and people have anxiety and they're depressed, and people commit suicide, and they use drugs, and they use alcohol, and they use other people, and they constantly distracting themselves from what is. Because this world that we see with our eyes isn't real. It isn't. It seems real to us. And that's the kind of like lifting of the veil, right? That, yeah, we're here. We're in a body right now. We're experiencing these things, but we're experiencing through a lens and through a mind that's not right. Yet even they will be exchanged at last for what we cannot speak of. For you will go from there to where words fail entirely. Like we won't, what I'm taking from this, well, let me finish. Where words fail entirely, into a silence where the language is unspoken and yet surely understood. There is no words and language needed when we're out of the body. When we're just that awareness or that consciousness that leaves the body, there's no words. It's like, I've watched a lot of shows and stuff on this kind of stuff, and it's, some of it's advanced out of my league, hard to understand, but we're not always going to be in this body, but it doesn't end there. Communication, unambiguous and plain as day, remains unlimited for all eternity. And God himself speaks to his Son as his Son speaks to him. Their language has no words, for what they say cannot be symbolized. Their knowledge is direct and wholly shared and wholly one. It's direct. Like, you don't even have to speak. It's just like, how do I want to phrase this? I can't come up with the term I'm looking for. It's just consciousness. It's just, you don't even have to speak. We know it's just transmitted. We're interconnected. Their language has no words for what they can. I read that already. Let's see here. Where was I? 1 second. How far away from this are you who stay bound to this world? And yet, how near are you when you exchange it for the world you want? It's all in our thinking. It's all in this kind of separated minds, this ego God thing, this unconscious conscious. Now is the last step certain. Now you stand an instant space away from timelessness. Here can you but look forward, never back to see again the world you do not want. Here is the world that comes to take its place as you unbind your mind from the little things the world set forth to keep you prisoner. Again, it's talking about prisoner. It's talking about chains. It's talking about you being binded and chained and, in this false reality. Once you recognize this, then you can unbind, unblock the doors, come from the unconscious to the conscious. And this isn't an overnight process, but it's guaranteed if you're working on this. That's what I believe. And that's what this book and these lessons are teaching, this course is teaching you. Value them not, and they will disappear. Right? So what we value is going to show up in our life. Like if we value God and we value ourselves and we value things that are meaningful, love, anything that's love, unconditional love, anything that's of service to others and ourselves. That's how it works. Boom, boom. Think about the previous lessons of there's no love but God's, and we're one with God and God is one with us. Whatever word you need to use there. There was another one that I thought of last night. I thought, man, I haven't been using that in my videos. I need to mention that one. I can't remember what it was now. It'll come back to me. Esteem them, and they will seem real to you. So, let me go back here. Your mind. Basically, it's talking about unbinding your mind from the little things the world sets forth to keep you prisoner. Value them not, and they will disappear. Esteem them, and they will seem real to you. Such is the choice. What loss can be for you in choosing not to value nothingness? What loss can be for you in choosing not to value nothingness? This world holds nothing that you really want, but what you choose instead, you want indeed. Love, God, connection with others. There's just so much there that it's so deep. And you can't see it from the egoic mind. It's blocked. So we have to work on getting completely out of that. Right? We're all working on that. I don't think anyone that's a human that's here is completely there. They wouldn't be here. It waits but for your choosing to take it to the place for all the things you seek but do not want. Practice your willingness to make this change 10 minutes in the morning and at night and once more in between. Basically, what I've been doing here is I do it in the morning. I try to find time for it in between. I'm not always perfect about it, and I try to finish my day with it. The morning thing's pretty much a non-negotiable for me. The other two, there'll be times where I don't get to them. Listen, it's fine. The more we practice it, the more we'll get, though. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. Beyond this world, there's a world I want. I choose to see that world instead of this. For here is nothing that I really want. Then close your eyes upon the world you see, and in the silent darkness, watch the lights that are not of this world light one by one, until where one begins, another ends, losing all meaning as they blend into one. So here it's talking about shutting down your actual eyes here, the vision, the eyes that see this world. It's telling you, shut them down, and there's a whole nother world out there that you can connect to. God. Creation. The universe. Today the lights of heaven bend to you, to shine upon your eyelids as you rest beyond the world of darkness. Here's light your eyes cannot behold, and yet your mind can see it plainly and can understand. A day of grace is given you today, and we give thanks. The day we realize that what you feared to lose was only loss. So really only what you're fearing to lose in this world is just the losing of it, the loss itself, not really the things. It's not the material things. It's not the material possessions. It's not the stuff that your egoic mind would have you see value in. It's the loss itself. That's what you're afraid of. Now do we understand there is no loss, for we have seen its opposite at last. And we are grateful that the choice is made. Remember your decision hourly. Try to remember this stuff throughout your day. Try to practice that. Practice coming, like if something's, there's these things in our lives that we all have that distract us. You know, you have them, I have them, and we have these tendencies to go to them when we're not, it's unconscious. So this takes a lot of practice and repetition. Try to go back to these things and what they're telling you in these lessons hourly. Remember this. Remember your decision hourly and take a moment to confirm your choice by laying by whatever thoughts you have and dwelling briefly upon this. The world I see holds nothing that I want. Beyond this world, there is a world I want. The more you practice this, the more it'll become a reality for you. That may seem scary. See, I haven't let go of all fear. So that's the end of the lesson, by the way. So it was a good one. I think that they need to be put together. So I'm gonna edit things today here. Once I get done here, I'm gonna put them together, and such a good course. I just found out there's actually a course for children. I'm going to look into that to get my kids. You know, if I could have had this information at a younger age, man, it would have saved me probably a lot of pain and suffering. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And heaven on earth is here. It's always been here. It's always been here. We just have to see it. We have to get rid of the stuff that we've created. We've allowed, we've chosen. Well, now we can make a different choice. You know, we are the miracle. Choose unconditional love when you can. Do the best you can. Love yourself. Love all your brothers and sisters the way you want to be loved. And then that's how the universe will it's like this. And if we all did this one by one, we would have one heck of a planet, one heck of a whatever this is to live in. Till next time.